Welcome to Guelph Fight Wrestle Hut. I am Andrew Sennedra. This is the Turkey Man, Captain Witchfingers, and today we're talking about AEW's Revolution. Pretty solid pay-per-view. I actually really liked the buy-in. I thought that was really good. He had a really good match. I felt with Layla Hirsch and Chris Statlander. He had a brief moment where QT Marshall got a little bit of he got in some offense against Hook, but Hook mostly whooped him for the most part, but I really liked the six-man tag between Malachi Black, Brody King, Buddy Matthews, Penta Obscuro, Pac, and the big man, Eric Redbeard, which was pretty cool to see him, even if it's a one-time dealio. I think that was pretty good. Overall, I thought the match was good. It was pretty exciting. Lots of hard-hitting moments. Eric Redbeard did some very agile things for a man so large. Brody King heaving him up was pretty good. I liked the shots that Malachi Black was landing on people. He was really kicking, pretty hard in some of those moments. It was a pretty good match. Definitely a pay-per-view match.
Yeah, for sure. That trios one was like one of my favorites, and yeah, I think it definitely deserve a spot on the main event pay-per-view. But
considering. Well, you'll see later on what we're talking about when we get into the pay-per-view a little bit. Opened up pretty good, though, even though you had like two, more
old school style
meat and potatoes guys with Jericho and Eddie Kingston. But I think what was really interesting is just how much, once again, Eddie Kingston plus Chris Jericho could really build a lot of momentum very quickly for that, anticipation of that match. It was pretty, I would say it was pretty steady, non-stop, a lot of hard hitting, some vicious suplexes. Jericho landed on his head.
Yeah, that first one on landing on his head, it was like, oh man, that was rough right on the back. Because later on, Jericho got mad. He threw Kingston on the back of his head.
Yeah, and the big landing that they did with the suplex onto the outside. You could tell that Kingston had to absorb quite a bit landing on there. I've landed like that. It really tends to hurt your ribs, but I'm glad Kingston won. I think that's what they were building for.
Yeah.
Though, that he was going to sort of get that push. Even though he hasn't had a title, it seems like he's slowly inching up that pyramid to get to the title. At least one title.
And I think the end where Jericho refused to shake his hands was because Kingston kept in his chest. He's like, I ain't gonna shake this guy's hand. He like busted my chest. He kept slapping me so hard.
Busted my areola. Yeah, and that almost sort of lends it to maybe being able to continue the storyline a little bit further as well. It leaves a bit of a door open for that. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty good opener considering it was a bit of an older dude. Well, I don't know if Kingston's older, but I guess in wrestling world he might be. And the next match was the title match with Jurassic Express, Red Dragon, and the Young Bucks. High flying, a lot of action back and forth. I sort of liked that they were picking on Jurassic Express right off the bat, and then they started to turn on each other, which I think we talked about this, how Red Dragon and Young Bucks weren't even going to win the title, but this was sort of a setting the tones, planting the seeds for a rivalry between Red Dragon and Young Bucks. So I thought that was kind of cool potential foreshadowing. But the match was definitely all over the place. A lot of wicked moments that usually happens in the Young Bucks and Jurassic Express matches anyways. But
yeah, it was great back and forth. And it was funny to see they were working together, Young Bucks and Red Dragons.
Yeah.
And then later on, Young Bucks got tired of them stealing all the glory, and then Young Bucks pull fish out face first, and he's like, get out of here, let me take over.
I thought that Bobby Fish adds quite a bit when he's yelling. He's yelling, he's like, not him, you stupid. He's adding a little bit of flavor. So I always think they should sort of mic up the ring a little bit like that, because you could hear Bobby Fish quite easily. I think there was a mic over on the timekeeper's table. But yeah, I think we predicted that Jurassic Express was going to win the match, and sort of deservingly so, but we'll have to see how long they keep it going down the road now. But pretty solid match. I think it was one of the top ones on the card.
Yeah, sure. Definitely. Lots of high flying, lots of team dynamics. It was great.
Then the next match, I thought this was... Yeah, it was probably the best one on the card, in my opinion, was the Face of the Revolution ladder match with, what we got here? We got Wardlow, Will Hobbs, Ricky Starks, Keith Lee, Orange Cassidy, and Christian Cage. Quite the dynamic there. You got an old dude, you got some big dudes, Orange Cassidy got a slow dude. Like, so he ended up with a pretty unique dynamic. I love what Orange Cassidy did to try to get to the gold ring a couple of times, using guys to step on them, using the ladder when Wardlow and Keith Lee were holding it. So there was some pretty innovative moments, I thought, and that was pretty good considering how many ladder matches there've been, trying to think up new ideas, right?
Yeah, that was awesome. Like, Orange is too lazy to climb the ladder, so he's like finding creative ways to get up there. And it was funny to see, like, at the beginning, you see like the three big guys, like, all powerful, and Orange like slowly stroll in and started slow kicking them all.
And he gets his ass beat as usual until, but yeah, we figured Wardlow was deserving of winning it, and that's definitely the case. So that was fantastic to see. There were some really brutal spots, though. Like, I know Christian took a few spills. Ricky Starks definitely at the end. I don't know how that powerbomb will. Hopefully we'll see if he's all right. But he definitely landed pretty high on the neck when he came down on the ladder from on Wardlow's powerbomb. So it was quite an intense match. But I like the innovation and doing the little things that they did. It wasn't as high flying because the guys weren't in it, but they definitely showed a lot of athleticism and made the ladder match work almost in a different way for everybody. But I think that was pretty cool, creative work there for them on that ladder match for sure.
Yeah, and it was funny how like they're like fighting and jostling the ladder, and then they break the ladder apart, and Paul just gets it and starts whacking everybody to death.
I don't know why Wardlow just turned around.
Yeah,
He's like, dude, I'm just gonna walk away. Oh, why'd he hit me? It's like, what? It's free for all,
like,
dude.
I'm gonna go beat up Limitless. Oh, I forgot Hobbs was behind me.
Oh yeah, and then Wardlow, yeah, he sent Keith Lee and Will Hobbs through the table off the stage, to put them out of action in that match. That was quite a violent spill. Who knows how those two guys ended up after that one. But Hobbs went quite a distance on that one.
And they're big guys, so they fall hard.
Oh yeah, they fall pretty damn hard. Hopefully there's something underneath, not just cement. Then the next match, we got the dog collar match between CM Punk, MJF. So much building up to this. Great storytelling. You could just feel the animosity. So much going on. So you had really good promo work. Definitely a lot to build up into this match. So almost feels like the match ended up with a lot of expectations, though. Really, I don't know if I felt like it might have reached those expectations. It was a little slower of a match. There was a lot of blood, quite a bit of, I guess, violence to show it up in that match for sure. I think CM Punk really took the worst of the beating, though. He had the abrasions across his back of the chain links, so much blood. He landed on the thumbtacks as well. He took some pretty good spills, but ended up getting the win. Yeah,
he was like drenched head to toe in blood, and then like I like the entrance where like the both people are playing mind games, and MJF's like, oh, CM Punk's coming out first. Oh no, I'm coming out first. And then CM Punk like plays his old school MLW. And then
MLW, ROH.
ROH, and then he shows up in his old gear.
He doesn't even know what he's talking about.
He's like shutting up.
Yeah, I think that was pretty good, and I think like with Tony Khan buying ROH and announcing that like that same week, and then him coming out to his old theme and entrance and everything, sort of added a nice thrill right to the beginning of the match. Quite a long match too. They did a good 30 minutes or so, or 20 minutes, but
yeah, there's lots of casualties. Even the ref was like hurting from like counting to 3 with the thumbtacks.
Then we're on to I would say it was like a fun, fantastic, wild match. Sting, Darby and Sammy Guevara versus Andrade, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy, who took one hell of a spill. I thought he was dead from that fall that him and Sammy took through the tables on the rampway. I was like, oh, I was expecting like a pool of blood to start like spitting out. He's like, oh, you alive, huh? That was quite the fall. Sting, daring, nearly 63 years old, jumps off there through Andrade. Looks like he took a bit of a table off the forehead. Sting's going ham at his old age. You can't stop him. Butcher and Blade got taken out by Sting. It's like you can't take on the old man's power. He just keeps going.
I think Sting was taking out everybody. Because everybody from the HFO came out. Sting was like beat him left, beat him right.
It's like some sort of like boss root and old school power. He's like these chops. He's like, taking everybody out. Matt Hardy took a few spills. I don't know what he was doing there at the end. He was like scooting away from Darby on the finish for the coffin drop. He's like, yeah, I'm not taking this. I'm taking enough abuse tonight.
Yeah, it's funny. I think instead of Darby using him on his back, he like hit him back of his head. He's like on his shoulder. He's like, oh, what the hell?
He's like, eat a rib shot from my head, Hardy. He's like, yeah, I'll fucking take you out with my head. But that was just, yeah, it was overall just a fun, wild, exciting match, just sort of all over the place. I really think Darby's sort of entrance videos, cinematic entrance videos, are pretty neat too.
Yeah,
he had a bit of a flair, a bit of a spice to the beginning of the match. So
it's cool to see this thing come out at the end of the video with the flamethrowers like burning everybody.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus Christ.
Even Jose got a piece of action, you know?
Oh man, Jose like Darby fucking laid him out with that sort of flying coffin drop right into him. And then Andrade didn't even care. He just takes the garbage can off him and throws it at Sting. He's like, who cares, man? Just you and your stupid tablet, that's what you get.
He's just a stooge, you know? You replace him with Stooge 2 and Stooge 3.
Poor Jose. Anyways, let's fast forward and jump onto the title match between Hangman and Adam Page. And we got Adam Cole. Pretty hard hitting. I thought there was some pretty good moments. Looked like Adam Cole took a bit of a dick shot from the Panama Sunrise. You know, there's some pretty good, a lot of super kicks too. They sure ate a lot of kicks.
Super kick in the back of the head.
he kicked him a lot, Cole did, on Hangman. But I thought it was a pretty solid match overall. Maybe, you know, not the best. Personally, I think Hangman's best title match so far has been Lance Archer, just, you know, brutalizing each other. Awesome match. Showed his toughness, showed his strength so much that he was able to endure. But I think this match was toned down, and it showed that he could, like, I thought the pacing was pretty good. Like, yeah. I was hoping it wasn't going to be overly slow for like 25 minutes, because you know how that would sort of become like lethargic.
Yeah, it's good pacing, a lot back and forth, a lot of big moves. Speaking of super kicks, I like the one where he was like doing that moonsault, and then he kind of had to sidestep out, and then perfect actually whack him right in the face. That was pretty good.
Yeah, we were talking about that as that happened. I pointed out, like, man, you'd have to time that right, and you also, like, you don't want to sort of hit Hangman so he's like not in a flow and like lands on his face on the way down as well, right? You gotta, you know, that's something that I'm sure you really have to work on to be careful. So that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, and there was another one where it's like Hangman at the top, and he did like that moonsault flip fallaway slam. That was
good. Yeah, like the thing that sort of Bandito does too. Yeah, that was solid, showing his strength. Yeah, overall I think Revolution was pretty solid. I'll be honest, it wasn't like my top pay-per-view though, even though like it was projected to be like the best AEW pay-per-view. But out of our ranking system, good, great, awesome, amazing, spectacular, and fantastique. How do you have it ranked?
I have to say it's great. It was good, but could have been better, so it's great.
Oh yeah, he's a bit of a, he came for the stiff. And I'm gonna go with awesome, because I really felt like the fun six-man tag with Sting, Darby, you know, Andrade. I thought that was pretty exciting and fun, and the sort of the trio's six-man tag match with the Hardy Boys, the Young Bucks, Red Dragon, and Jurassic Express. I thought those two matches just elevated it up a little bit.
I was a bit disappointed because, like, we saw Mr. Pepto-Bismol, so I was expecting to see Omega.
Don Callis. I was like, Mr. Pepto-Bismol.
I was expecting to see Omega, but I never saw him.
It might have been cool if Omega showed up and sort of did something, but hey, maybe that's a hint that he's going to be something big in the works coming up, so that would be pretty sweet. So hopefully you guys enjoy our channel, or you dislike it, and then you can thumbs down if you want. But leave a comment below and tell us what you think about Revolution, or if you got any video ideas that we should tackle into that can be, you know, fun and goofy for us to explore. We just like to talk a lot of junk and insult each other. And until next time, folks, how about some heavy wrestling?
Jungle Express, Red Dragon, Tony Bucks.
Tony Bucks. One.
Oh, I need some water.
The next match was the awesome tag team title match with Jurassic Express, Red Dragon. No, I can't. Fuck you. This is a comedy now? I guess it is sort of comedy.
Oh my god. Should add in those clips.